Ayācemwanēwek, Ayācemwanēwek, Muqsahkwat, Ayācemwanēwek, Muqsahkwat, and Ayācemwanēwek winner up your seat. So I wanted to go ahead and let my Niji here introduce himself and we'll take it from there. Kinahasit.
Tantekiwa no akumagantik. Wikahskiseno Dustin Uspaganino Nisigasun. Egwa sniwati kutinia. Egwa Butawi no ni gana naskamau. Egwa kio no akumagantik kitataminoa. Greetings. My name is Dustin Whitford. In my introduction in my language, I acknowledged my Cree names. I have two of them. One is Sweetgrass Old Man. The other is Pipe Man, Peace Pipe Man, and I'm from Rocky Boy, Montana. And I'm here in the Menominee Nation on the beautiful reservation. I got an awesome tour yesterday from our Nitsi here, and got to the trees. So many trees. I like the trees. But I came here to visit about the language program that is going here. All of the language work that's happening. It's amazing. It's wonderful. And I came here to learn how your tribe has been able to produce new fluent speakers, which we haven't done in over 50 years.
So why don't you go ahead and update the folks on how your trip has been here?
Able to learn some Menominee, go through the TPR sessions that Menominee U is working with, along with the language program with the tribe. And I was able to sit there and do what I was told in the Menominee language. And if it could do that for me in a few minutes, imagine what it could do for my tribe in 14 months. So that part was like I said, an amazing experience in itself. But also I was able to visit with some of the trainees who went through the program, and even a trainee that's in the program. And that part, man, I can't explain it in words other than saying it was a powerful experience. And I feel blessed to be here and to listen to the language being spoken fluently between people who are younger than I am. And that part is what I'm after. That's what I came here for, to try to learn this process and take it back to my tribe. So it's been an amazing experience. I think the most powerful part of this experience, there's been quite a few of them, but being in the presence of an infant who doesn't speak, but her parents are graduates of the program, the 14 months program, and just thinking about this child, the potential that this child is growing up in, parents who could fluently speak the language, and yeah, they're still on their language journey, they're still learning, but what they could do for their child is amazing. And this baby had an effect on me that I didn't think it would happen, but I got caught up in emotion just thinking about this child. So that's what I'm after, that's what I came after, and you guys have something amazing happening here. Take full advantage of it. And where I come from, we have quite a few elderly speakers still. Compared to the amount of actual enrolled members, though, it's less than 3%. So we have to do something, and I think this is the answer. And I'm really thankful that I was welcomed here with open arms, and the Menominee people have been so hospitable and welcoming. And I look forward to coming back again. I don't want this to be a first and last trip. I'd like to make it at least, something like 3-4 times a year, just to come visit and share, learn. So I want to thank those of you who were able to visit with me and introduce yourself to me. That was a lot. So I really thank you all. Thank the Menominee Nation, Nitsi here, Elmer, everybody that's involved with the language revitalization here. Thank you all.
Wow. So I definitely appreciate those words, and glad that we're able to do what we can anyway, and we're here to help along the way. But one of the things is, Nietzsche, that you didn't fall into this overnight. You've obviously been learning your language for a number of years, and we've been communicating since 2019, I believe, about how we do things here and stuff like that. And finally, things are starting to line up for you to maybe position yourself to be able to do that. But can you tell the people a little bit about what motivates you, or why you believe the language is important for our tribes to not only preserve and maintain, but revitalize?
So, my concern, being a father of four, those are my motivation. Not just my children, but children of my tribe. I grew up lucky. I was rich. I grew up with four of my grandparents, seven of my great grandparents who were all Cree speakers. Some of them spoke Chippewa. One of them spoke 13 languages fluently, and so I grew up where I could go to grandma and grandpa's house, wake up in the morning, and hear them just speaking nothing but the language. My children don't have that today. I want them to be those grandparents for their grandkids. When their grandkids go camp at their house, they could wake up and hear their grandparents speaking nothing but the language. So that's important to me. But as far as tribally, that's our ID. That's our these tribal IDs we get with our names, our blood quantums. To me, that doesn't mean anything without the language. Blood quantum doesn't mean nothing without the language. As far as government goes, this language is our tribal ID. That's our identity, and it was expressed to me by trainees who didn't really have that sense of identity until learning the language. And that's powerful in itself. In another sense, spiritually, our stories back home is, when our time is done here on this earth, the Creator is going to call us by our Cree name, and they're going to talk Cree to us. And if we don't know that, what happens? What happens? We don't know. We don't know. We're afraid of that. So there's a lot of reasons, a lot of motivation why this has to happen. Not just for Chippewa Cree, not just for Menominee, but indigenous tribes throughout the world. And there's been a lot of ideas, like what happens if we lose this language. And I was proposed a question recently when we released Buffalo onto our reservation. There was some people doing a film asking, how does indigenous language affect climate change? And I thought, man, how does it affect climate change? Well, if you think about it, all of these indigenous tribes, not only here in the United States and Canada, all over the world, they're being lost through technology, through colonialism, through the English language, Spanish language, French language, whatever. Languages that aren't indigenous to those people and the land. The more we lose those languages, it seems like the more we have climate issues, climate change. Our prophecies back home is, in the future, there's gonna be catastrophic weather events, and for us, they told us, if you don't have your language, your ceremonies, your pipe, your sweetgrass, that's what's gonna save you.
All right, so hearing all that, Nietzsche, I wanted to give you one last opportunity just to tell any of the viewers anything, summarize your experience here. What does this all mean? You're going home. You're learning some things here. You've obviously taught us some things while you're here, but in the good way. We always try to leave somebody with something to think about. So this is your chance. Talk to our viewers. Tell them just what you're thinking on your way out of town here.
Well, like I said, I hope this isn't a first and last trip. I'd like to come back, and I've been treated excellently here, and as far as the language goes, it's an amazing, holy, sacred movement that's happening here on the Menominee Reservation. In my opinion, when I say that, to me, it goes back to that child that affected me. These children, they're so sacred, holy little beings that a child that's going to speak your language and be a first language speaker, one of the first ever since I don't know how many years, over 50 years or so, which would be the case in our tribe. That's a holy event, sacred. It's a sacred event, and I can't express it enough to say that continue on. Ayācemwanēwek. Ayācemwanēwek means to persevere. All of you, persevere. Keep going through. Learn the language. It's going to be a wonderful thing for the children, grandchildren, great-grandchildren, great-great-grandchildren, and those kids that we won't ever meet. It's going to be wonderful for them to be able to communicate to each other in the language. It's going to be wonderful for them to talk to our Creator in your language. Conduct your ceremonies in your language. Talk kindly to one another in your language. So that's my wish and prayer for this tribe, for everything that they've done for me so far, and I hope will do for me in the future, not just me, but my tribe. My prayer is that's what will happen for your future generations.
Hey man, I appreciate that, Nietzsche, and I did want to remind everybody too that we've got a immersion daycare going. There's 20 some odd children that are being immersed in their language every single day. There's teachers there that are trying their best to keep in the language, to teach the language. There's the alumni cohort here at Menominee U that's extending the gift of the language to many people online every night. This is not something that you can't be a part of. You can be a part of this. Come on in, join us, learn your language. Amen.